You look at this driver and it screams Ping. As ever, minor changes, but interested to see the difference in the sound. So this is starting with the max. We're going to talk about the SFT and we're going to talk about the low spin, which has got a little bit more new technology in it. Hi guys, this is Matt and welcome back to the channel. This week we see the launch of the new Ping G430 series. So testing the new drivers today. They've also brought out fairways, hybrids and irons as well. But off the back of the success of the 425, we've now got the 430. We must admit that the 425 was super popular with the majority of golfers, especially the max head. Largely seen as the most forgiving driver from last year. So a lot to really kind of step up the game really from Ping. Now from what I've sort of read and seen, a lot of the talk has been around improving the sound. That was probably the only real kind of downside with the 425, but it was very loud, a little bit unpleasing really. And they're talking about this new internal rib structure that is making it a little softer, so that'd be interesting to try. Slight different design in terms of colourway, this sort of lime green colour, which looks nice, you know, quite subtle. Again, some slightly kind of different, you know, minor difference in terms of design on the top, but they've stuck with these sort of turbulators that Ping believe that it sort of gives you that little bit of extra club speed. But I think with Ping, you're never going to see massive changes. You look at this driver and it screams Ping. So as ever, minor changes, but interested to see the difference in the sound. Now, the other big thing is this new face design. So much thinner face with the variable face thickness for off-center hits as well. So if it was already forgiving, they're now trying to get a bit more distance as well. So we're going to hit 6 shots with all 3 heads. So this is starting with the max. We're going to talk about the SFT and we're going to talk about the low spin, which has got a little bit more new technology in it. The other thing with this max head, they've got this 25 gram weight now, which allows you to move it plus or minus 8 yards. So we've got this set on the neutral setting. And we've just got the hazardous smoke 6.0 stiff shaft for this test. As I said, looks nice, looks very much like a Ping driver down at address. Yeah, didn't get all that seemed a little high on the face. But again, the max is going to be the most popular driver for the majority of golfers. So super forgiving, you can see there wasn't a great strike, but nice and straight. Better hit. Yeah, much better hit there. Decent spin, yeah, decent numbers there, in and around 290, which is pretty much where I usually am. And I can definitely hear a different sound. It's much better on the ear, if you like, compared to the 425. Nowhere near as loud, so good job from that front. Yeah, decent hit, turned it over a fraction. Spinning a little high. I mean, I would say my game is most suited to the low spin, so we'll probably see some better distance numbers. But yeah, that sound is quite an improvement. Similar again, just turning it over a little bit. Again, if I was fitting myself for one of these or getting fitted, I'd be tempted to move that weight into the toe just to straighten it out, but feels good, super consistent those last 3. First one wasn't great, but the last 3 very consistent in terms of distance. Again, another good hit in and around that 290 mark. And I can see a lot of guys, as I said, going into this max driver. Last one with the max. Just turn that over more than the others. The other big thing, again, Ping is speaking about, is this spin consistency. So essentially saying that off the low strikes, they're not going to climb as much, so they're going to maintain the spin or a little bit lower spin to maximise distance. So a lot of the talk really, largely around distance this year. We know it's a forgiving driver, but more around trying to get up with the big boys, if you like, and match the longer drivers. So there's the max for you, and yeah, it was pretty good. It was turning over left a little bit, which probably not the driver for me, but felt good. Big improvement in the sound. So now moving on to the SFT, straight flight technology. So for those of you out there that typically tend to slice it, the SFT is the one for you. And the big improvement this year, along with the other sort of aspects, a bit of tech from the Max, is the draw and the draw plus setting. So essentially giving you more opportunity to kind of move it, kind of even more than you have done in the past. So should be again a popular one for the slicers. Same technology. It's got the spin consistency. It's got this new sort of face design. Obviously the sound, the sort of rib structure is the same throughout as well. So if we tag this one as SFT, now obviously you can see on those first 6 that the Max was going left, so clearly this SFT isn't the driver for me. We would expect this to go left, and I have got it in the draw plus setting, so max left. And straight away we sit that down, we can see that towed in, which for some people it would help, but obviously not for me. Yeah, so you can see that really sort of turning over there, which again, that's kind of what we'd want to see, for this type of club. If you're a slicer, then we know this is going to be a good option to try. Yeah, going left. I think we'll only hit one more of these. It's certainly showing that it's a draw biased head, and we wouldn't expect too many going right with this driver. Yeah, there's the anti-left swing, a little bit off the toe, but yeah, in terms of the tech, this draw plus setting is definitely going to help you guys, and again it's got the standard draw setting as well, so if you just tend to have a slight cutty one, then just the sort of standard draw setting will help. So now onto the LST, which I believe will be the most kind of suited to my game, and the big talking point has been around this sort of carbon crown that they've introduced, as we've seen with other brands. And as I sort of look down at this, it's actually not as kind of distinct as you might have seen on on pictures. Certainly looking at it on pictures, there was quite a distinctive kind of contrast in terms of the colourway. Yes, you can see it, but nowhere near as obvious. So from that point, I quite like. But again, we can see it, and it's a 440 head as well, 440cc. So it's a smaller head, and this carbon crown has essentially allowed them to sort of save weight to sort of redistribute it, make it a little bit more forgiving as well. I actually did have the LST driver in the 425, and I didn't really get on with it. I didn't find it forgiving at all, but they're saying that with this carbon crown that they've able to make it that little bit more forgiving. And again, looking at that now, having used that SFT, it looks nice and square, exactly what we want to see. Again, I love that sort of slightly smaller head shape. Yeah, love that. Good flight. Yeah, good distance as well there. Some good ball speed. I think that's possibly one of the better ball speeds there. Close to 160, which is what we'd like to see. Yeah, felt a little toey there. Just a slight hook on that one. And again, you might find that with this LST, so you can see that spin rate really drop, and you're not going to get that with the Max quite so much. There was a couple that I turned over with the Max. You're really not going to get that, so a little less forgiving than the Max, but obviously better than the previous one. Good hit, seemed to pop up a little bit that one, but nice and straight. Okay, we'll just hit a couple more with the LST. Not bad. Again, I'm not seeing crazy distance numbers, you know, maybe not hit them all perfect, but I'm not seeing crazy distance numbers. But I am improving, I am enjoying the sort of improved sound, the sort of forgiveness of the Max, definitely. The looks of the LST, the sort of versatility of the SFT. So it is ticking a lot of boxes. Decent hit, just turned it over a little bit. Okay, let's try one more, and then we'll take a closer look at the numbers. On the face of it, as I said, we can definitely see the three distinct heads that are going to fit into all types of golfer. Decent one to finish. Okay, let's take a closer look. So in terms of the dispersion, so we've got the white, which was the Max. Again, decent strikes, but turning over a little bit. As I said, there is that kind of adjustability that the Max provides, plus or minus 8 yards. The SFT, we quickly saw that was, you know, left going left, certainly on two of them anyway, so doing exactly what it's kind of set out to do. And then the LST in the blue there, definitely straighter, 3 straighter ones. There was one left shot, which again, possibly not got the forgiveness of the Max. So let's take a closer look at the numbers, and let's see if we can sort of separate them and see if there's any sort of clear difference. Now, starting with the Max at the bottom there, if we go through it in terms of club and ball speed, so we've got 106, pretty much 107 with all three. So I've swung all three are very, very similar. Ball speed 155 with the Max, same with the SFT, 156 with the LST. So ball speed the same throughout. Smash factor 147 LST, 145 SFT, 145. So I've actually hit them all similar. In terms of launch, the LST has come out lower. Again, just to point out that I've used a 10.5 loft with all three of these clubs. In terms of the spin, 2.6 with the Max, pretty much 2.6 with the SFT, and you know, just under 2.6 with the LST. So that does surprise me. I would have expected the LST to be significantly lower spin, but you know, the 425 I found didn't spin enough, despite being an LST head. it almost dipped out the sky and there was kind of no forgiveness at all. Let's look at the distance. So 259 for 280 with the max, 256 for 279, 253 for 280 with the LST. So again, distances, I'm not seeing a big enough kind of difference really. I would have expected the LST to go further. Yes, there was one in there at 290, but we did get a couple around 290 with the max as well. So looking at the three, I do think it's an improvement on the 425. It was difficult to improve the 425, but the sound is an improvement. Looks are very similar. Yes, we've got the addition of the carbon crown on the LST, so more testing to be done with this to see if it is kind of outperforming last year's. I do like the adjustability of the SFT. I think I'm going to get a lot of my members that are slicers. They will fit nicely into that SFT. So overall, I do think it's an improvement, but as always, it's always marginal gains. It will be interesting to do some head-to-heads with the new Paradigm Callaway with the new TaylorMade Stealth 2, and obviously there's more to come out there as well. So hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Post any comments down below. Look forward to seeing you again very soon.